If lightweight, simple shoes are your jam, then you're gonna wanna watch this video today. Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? Hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. Before we dive into this shoot today, I just want to thank you guys for your patience with me over the last couple of months. I am in a super busy season of life right now, so I'm trying to do videos as much as I possibly can, and that means that sometimes it's not every week. So hopefully once I, get my bearings in this new season of life and this new chapter, I will be able to be a little bit more consistent, but it might take some time. So in the meantime, please stick with me. I love making these whenever I possibly can. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about a shoe from a brand that is on the smaller side of things. They're based out of Austin, Texas. You probably have heard of them if you are a running shoe geek, and that is the brand Atreyu. Not the band, the brand Atreyu. They have a new shoe coming out potentially at the end of March, and I have it right here. It is the Daily Trainer 2. Now, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I'm going to ask that you please go and do so. I know some of you watch the videos but aren't necessarily subscribed, so every subscription does help. Helps me to keep making these videos. And if you could also go follow me on Instagram at RunLikeHeller, I'd also appreciate it. I post a little more running content on there, so that is another place that you can go follow my journeys in running. Look, there's a bug on the screen. Just kidding. I first heard of Atreyu, I think probably in either 2019 or early 2020, like pre-pandemic. And they came out with a shoe called the base model, I believe, and I gave it a shot, and I actually really liked it at the time. And since then, they've come out with a lot of different shoes. They have the base model, they have the Daily Trainer, they also have a racing model as well. So really, they cover all the bases. On the back of the shoe, it says, "Honor simplicity." And in a world where the running shoe industry is certainly not honoring simplicity, not that there's anything wrong with that, but we're really going deeper and deeper into all these kinds of crazy technologies, it's good to know that one brand is sticking to the simple made running shoe. So we're going to talk about this Daily Trainer 2 today, what the updates are for this shoe, and whether or not I think it's a good running shoe. But before we do that, you got to watch the run footage where I will also have the specs. And this one's a little bit different than normal.
Dance in the heart of the ancient forest. Their forms shifted with each flicker of twilight. Their shades were never fully black or
So as always, let's start with the upper of the Daily Trainer 2. Atreyu is using a material called Astro-Knit. This stands for Advanced Structural Thread with Reinforced Orientation, but basically this is an engineered mesh and an extremely breathable one at that. As you can see in that forefoot, there is tons of ventilation. The top of the shoe, and honestly the midfoot as well, is basically see-through. If you go to the midfoot, there really isn't a ton in terms of overlays, but I would say generally this Astro-Knit material is a bit coarse and structured as it is, so you do get a little bit of a nice lockdown there. And the back, the heel counter is not super sturdy, but gives you a little bit of stiffness. The laces are flat, they stay tied, nothing to report there. The tongue is not necessarily padded, it's kind of like a thin piece of material, but it is gusseted on both sides. And around the ankle collar, we do have some padding, which I like. I got a solid wraparound feel in that midfoot, so I did feel pretty locked down. And in the forefoot, while it's not like the widest forefoot, I felt like my toes had plenty of room lengthwise and widthwise. The underside of this tongue is really soft, so it feels great on the top of my foot. And this upper basically vanishes off of your foot. You feel it there, it locks you onto the platform, but then it kind of disappears and you don't have to think about this upper at all. And I really liked that. Despite the fact that it is a kind of minimal material, it didn't feel like it's something that was gonna like break down or totally disintegrate over time. It's very comfortable and flexible. Turning the shoe over this way, I'd say it's pretty average in terms of width. I'm not sure if this comes in wide, it might not, but I think regardless, this upper is, you know, going to be flexible enough and accommodating enough that you might be able to fit in here just fine with a wider foot. I had no issues with hot spots, blisters, or irritation with this upper. Again, you barely feel like it's on your foot, so I don't have too much to say about it. Aesthetically, it's decent looking, and if you're not into these yellow laces, it also comes with white ones. But let's get down to the nitty gritty. The midsole. Atreyu is using something called their Cush midsole material. This stands for Compression and Uplift Synchronization Hub. Basically, this is 40% Pebax and 60% TPE material. Supercritical TPE, might I add. By today's standards, it's kind of a minimal amount of foam. You got 30 millimeters in the heel and 24 millimeters in the forefoot for a 6 millimeter drop. Now, to me, in most other shoes, that would be a little bit low. I tend to like a more cushioned shoe. However, I would say this Cush midsole, that Pebax mixed with that supercritical TPE, does give you a nice soft landing while also giving you that energy return that you do get in these little bit more cushioned shoes. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. Atreyu did a really nice job here utilizing two high-end materials to make this midsole because it shows and it makes the foam feel pretty premium. What I like so much about the Atreyu shoes, especially this Daily Trainer 2, is that it's really versatile. You can take this on your easy days, which I did. I have about 15 miles in this shoe, and it does great. You get that cushion from the road, but it doesn't feel dead or too firm on your foot. But then you can also take this shoe on your tempo days because it is feather light, incredibly light. It's so light. So you get that turnover going, and it's kind of like this shoe goes on cruise control. The one thing I haven't tried in this shoe is like a double-digit run, and I don't know personally if I could take this to like marathon distance. Theoretically, it can go that far for sure, but it's just maybe not my preference for that long of a run. But if you like simple shoes and you like a lower stack shoe, this could be perfect for you. I also love the fact that it's pretty flexible and also decently stable. Because it's lower to the ground, I think it helps with that stability. And I didn't feel like I was overpronating too much in this shoe. I felt like I was pretty level on that platform. Curious to see over the course of time how this TPE and Pebax mix holds up, but that's obviously something that would need to be tested out. But overall, I am really liking the feel of this, and that's surprising for me, who is usually a cushion queen. Turning the shoe over, Atreyu is using their Gripcast outsole. This stands for Ground Resistance Impact Protection Casting Polyurethane. Whew! Anyway, that's 100% CPU, featuring a dual layer design. The dual layer here being the blue and the red, I assume. You got lots of rubber on this shoe, but it's very minimal, 2 millimeters thick. And they did this so that it wouldn't take away the ground feel, but would also hold up the durability of the outsole. Honestly, the tread's holding up pretty good. I'm not seeing much wear at all, kind of to my surprise. The only place I'm getting that wear is in the very center there on that red part. I will be honest, I haven't taken the shoe out on any wet days. I wonder if it'll be a little bit slippery outside. But time will tell. On dry surfaces though, I felt like this thing was just fine. It was gripping onto the pavement. I took it on some like gravel, some grass, that kind of stuff, and had no problems. The Atreyu Daily Trainer 2 will be available for $170 on AtreyuRunning.com at the end of March, I believe. That's kind of TBD. I do think that's a little bit of a steep price because of how simple this shoe is. I think like a $150, $140 price tag would have been a little bit better. However, I do understand that they are a smaller company and they got to turn a profit. And this is also a good shoe. It's not like it's a bad one. So if you are looking for a more simple daily trainer, then certainly it's worth the $170 price tag. It's been a little bit since I've worn an Atreyu shoe. I think that this one in particular is probably my favorite, and I think the best built Atreyu shoe that I've tried so far. I think this really competes with those bigger brands that are on the market and offers something different that I think other companies are just straying so far away from these days. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing to be invested in all this crazy running shoe technology. Lord knows that I am. But it's also nice to have something that's a little bit different out there in case you're kind of sick of all the plates and the this and the that and the other thing, you know. Just go back to the basics. I've always been a fan, and that's really no different here. Are you going to pick up a pair of the Atreyu Daily Trainer 2? Have you tried an Atreyu shoe before? What's your favorite one? Are you not really into the brand? Let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Well, everyone, that concludes this video on the Atreyu Daily Trainer 2. If you enjoyed it, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. What do we think of the look of this shoe? Are we digging the primary colors? Not really into it. The outsole is incredible, in my humble opinion. What do you think? I'll have another video for you soon, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like heller. See you next time. That's Ruby's review of the shoe. She's telling you that she likes it, but she likes a little more cushion. She likes the red. She likes the what's that? Yeah. She likes the cushion of the shoe. She likes a 6mm offset. It's really 10 out of 10 for her, I guess, kinda. Yeah.